Good morning. It is good to see you today. Hope you're doing well. It is the Gospels Wednesday, and who we're going to talk about today is the Pharisees. And I want you to just answer a question in your own mind, if you will. What did the Pharisees, what did they appear like? If you were living back then, what would you think about the Pharisees? And I think one thing you would have to say was they seemed real religious, Scripture talks about. They even looked religious. Whether it was their long flowing robes or their phylacteries or things like that, they looked religious. You always saw them in the synagogue. Saw them in the synagogue all the time. They were always there in the prominent places to sit. They were men of prayer. You would see them praying constantly. And they were men of prayer. To see them, they would appear to be so full of self-discipline. They would appear to be so full of self-discipline. And you would always see them doing their charitable deeds. You would see them doing so many charitable deeds. They were the ones who were respected in Israel. They were the ones who were respected. God's name was always on their lips. They appeared to be so righteous. They appeared to be righteous. In reality, what were the Pharisees? Right? By their fruits you will know them. In reality, what were they like? They were divisive. That's what the very name means. They were separatists. They were divisive in the land of Israel. What they were interested in really was just personal followers. That's what they were interested in. They really didn't care about saving people from their sins. They didn't really care about that. They shut up the kingdom to men, remember it says. They actually hated their brethren. They actually hated their brethren. They were traditionalists. They wanted to elevate their traditions above God's commandments, and they would shove their traditions down everyone else's throats. They actually neglected the law. The weightier matters of the law, they could care less about. Their religion, while it may have been prominent on the street corner, it never really came home with them. They would not go into their rooms and shut the door and pray. They had to pray to be seen by men. And you would know that they would do their charitable deeds because they would have the trumpet blown. A lot of folks anymore, perhaps we don't have a trumpet, but a lot of folks, they like to make sure one way or another that everybody knows about all the charitable deeds they do. The Pharisees, they were blinded by their own sins. They were voluntarily blind. And the thing is, we know what Matthew chapter 5 says. In Matthew chapter 5 at verse 20, it says, "Unless your righteousness exceeds the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven." There were Pharisees back then, and there are Pharisees today. And we need to make sure that we are not following Pharisees. Because if we're just following Pharisees and Phariseeism today, then we are no better than what the Lord talks about when He says they are blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, they will both fall into the ditch. We need to be aware of it, and we need to be aware of it. Hopefully we're not Pharisees. Hopefully we're not Pharisees. We need to learn from the Lord. Hope you enjoyed this study today. Hope you have a good day. God bless you. Hope to see you tomorrow morning. Thanks for studying with us.